Hello everybody, my name is Chris Langecker and I'm going to be talking to you today about the types of damages that feral pigs can cause, as well as the diseases that they can transmit to humans, livestock, and other animals. Then I'm going to follow this up with the types of diseases that feral swine can carry and transmit, as well as how to prevent these diseases from being transmitted in the first place. After that, I'm going to follow up with some different control methods that people have used to stem the population growth of these feral swine. But first, I wanted to tell you guys a little brief history about where these feral swine come from. They weren't always feral swine to begin with. They were introduced here into America in the early 1500s by some Spanish explorers. They were domesticated pigs at one point, but the common practice of these settlers was just to let their pigs roam free. And so as a consequence, many of these pigs became wild, and they established populations elsewhere in the United States, and they became a problem. Now, their distribution today can be described as extensive. Today, some experts estimate that their numbers are over 5 million and still growing. 39 states are affected by feral swine, mostly in the southern U.S., but they are progressively going upwards. The largest populations would be focused in California, Florida, Oklahoma, and Texas, with Texas being the highest because it holds about 2 million feral swine right now. Some of the causes of this distribution is natural population growth of these feral swine. They have a very high reproductive rate, meaning that they can have up to 18 piglets per year. Another reason that this distribution is pretty spread out is because illegal movement by horse hunters, simply not killing their feral swine that they catch and just relocating it to another place, where it is then given a chance to habituate the area and establish a new population. Also, there are escapees from domesticated swine operations, and those can as well cause populations to increase elsewhere. Now I'm going to talk about some of the costs associated with feral swine. Each year, feral swine causes the U.S. $1 billion in damages and control costs. Some of the ways that feral swine cause damages is they like to wallowing, which involves sitting in your ponds, your water supply that you're giving your livestock, or your plants. This causes property damage as well as erosion to the riverbanks, and it contaminates your water supply and it impacts your water quality negatively. Another activity that causes damage is rooting, and it sounds exactly like what it is. They uproot trees in order to stay cool. This causes property damage, erosion to riverbanks as well, but the way that this differs is that it allows invasive plants to revegetate and rehabilitate an area. Third, these feral pigs like to destroy livestock and game fences because they're opportunistic eaters. And given the chance, they will go after your young livestock or cattle, and they will eat your livestock food, and they will eat their nutrients as well. So they'll pretty much stop at nothing to get what they want. Different diseases that feral pigs can cause. Now, they have been known to carry over 30 diseases and 37 parasites that can be transmitted to livestock, people, pets, or wildlife. As far as diseases that are transmitted from the pigs to other animals, there are diseases such as pseudo-rabies, foot and mouth disease, African swine fever, and classical swine fever, just to name a few. For public health, we are concerned about diseases that are transmitted from animals to humans, and some of these diseases include rabies, E. coli, salmonella, toxoplasmosis, and swine influenza, just to name a few. Now, these diseases are not really common here in the United States, and they're easy to prevent. Simply by wearing latex gloves to protect you from germs and the spread of germs and diseases, as well as washing your hands thoroughly after each application after each time that you handle these feral swine. Clean and disinfect your work areas properly, and probably the most important would be to dispose of the animal remains properly, because if you just toss them on the side of the road and you have a coyote problem or you have wild dogs in the neighborhood, they could possibly eat the carrion of that, or the remains, and the disease could be transmitted that way. Now, there's several ways that people have used to reduce the feral swine damage. They vary from lethal to non-lethal. Both seem to be socially acceptable. As far as non-lethal trappings, you have live trappings of, you use coral traps, you can use box traps, or you can use snaring. As far as lethal goes, you can use aerial hunting from a helicopter or a aircraft. You can ground hunt with either a bow or a gun. A caliber of over .30 is recommended. And also hunting with baying dogs is a good way to find out where the hogs are hiding. So, in conclusion, today feral swine cause extensive damage and disease threats to public property, native ecosystems, livestock health, and human health. They are in over 35 states, and their numbers will keep growing unless different methods or different intensities and methods are implemented.